Jason here from Deadwood Custom Cycles, and today you get to come with me and do something very special. You get a look behind the curtain at what goes on at Paul Yaffe Originals right here in Phoenix. What makes Paul Yaffe Originals so unique and so special is they don't just build bikes. They build a lot of bikes, but they also R&D and manufacture right here on site. They make things right here in-house. They do monkey bars, they do stealth fairing supports, they do super riser clamps, and then they have a whole awesome fiberglass shop that is completely and self-contained, and so all the fenders and everything are made right here in Phoenix, Arizona. Found him.
Hi. Was I missing or something? Or?
No, I get a little confused when I'm in here sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a maze. Yeah, the way we've grown into it. Well, we've been here 34 years or something.
Yeah.
So.
This is my very good, I consider him one of my best friends, Paul Yaffe, and now you're here, you're in the kingdom.
Right. I'm assuming you want a tour or something?
I want to show everybody what goes on here.
Well, this is where nothing gets done.
No.
This is my office, yeah.
Suzie put a very, very, very nice woman's touch on this.
Yeah, she did a great job.
She did a great job.
This is new for me.
It's a woman's touch.
Yeah. You know what, come on, I'll just walk you around. I'll show you what goes on here day to day. This room is where packaging goes on, so it's after stuff gets made. Haven's always super busy, just either blister packing or, hang carding, or, she's got plenty to keep her busy with all this stuff. So, and then everything goes out into the shipping area. This is where Suzie right now is working. So this is where all the boxes, this is where tons of all the little parts you need, like riser clamps and fender spacers and lightning bolts, and she has it all. There's just tons and rows of all the light stuff, license plate frames and all that stuff stays in here.
I like how organized this all is.
Yeah,
that's very organized.
That's Suzie. Yeah, it didn't used to look like this. These are kind of business offices. There's Suzie hard at it.
There's the brains.
I took that picture and hung it on his wall. So I was just staring at him. You could, here, drop that open. You can, yeah. And that painting has a whole story of its own. There's a long history with that painting, and one of Suzie and I's first dates are.
Weird. Suzie keeps it behind the door.
Dates,
it's weird she keeps it behind the door.
So it was this, a friend of ours who's a photographer for 30 years dropped this picture off. Just last week he's retiring, and this used to hang in his office.
Right.
And this guy, Paul Markow, he's a world famous photographer. He brought us this picture from his office, and Suzie liked it better. So. And I said, yeah, put that behind the, so when you close the door, people can see it. So this is usually our sales office, but it's in the middle of getting remodeled. And there's also a little photo booth getting built into it and stuff for product photography.
Recognize that? See a couple of these hanging up at Deadwood Custom Cycles.
Yeah. Dealers love their tin signs, so.
That's right.
Yeah, and then back here is our modeling, and Joe is currently temporarily sharing this office because we're redoing his office, so. So it's quite the mess, but this is where a lot of the magic goes on. Tons and tons of prototype parts, new things we're working on, these levers and shift linkages, and
that's crazy.
Oh, you should see I'll show you the prototypes up in my area. They're done now, so that's going to be these will be adjustable. They'll flip up, they'll slide out or in. They'll have 4 different position adjustments. And they'll fit everything. And they'll have a knuckle. The secret is the levers are all universal, but I make a knuckle for every model. Oh. So when we have them in inventory, we'll have a box of knuckles and we'll have a box of levers, and you'll just get them and put them together. So
that's sick. Is that race lever 2.0?
That actually is. I think they're called Speed Freak race levers or something like that. So pretty neat stuff. These are new axle caps for the new 24 front ends that we're playing around with new designs. And where's the left?
Where's the shift linkage?
You're holding them. That's this is one. That's one half of it. Yeah. This is the long one for the baggers and the soft tails.
Yep.
And then the short ones are done. These are, and they come with these covers. So when you order a kit for like a short mid controls, it'll come with a front lever and a rear lever cover, so it cleans up that whole area.
See, and this is what I'm talking about. Like this is innovation right here. This is genius. This is what I'm talking about. That's why, we're so proud to be a part of this, and I don't know, but I say that we're the premier dealer for Bagger Nation.
You certainly are.
No
doubt.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
you're bringing them back.
What's that?
You're bringing them back.
Oh yeah, we are.
You know, I have 2 of these.
Yeah, we have them. I have them in stock in black and chrome. Yeah,
No
we have
kidding.
them. Yeah, they just haven't been marketed yet. But
That's crazy because I've been hanging on to 2 of these for 41 millimeters.
these ones are going to work on monkey bars. They're going to work on the snap on the bars.
Oh,
So you can
I
guide your
thought
cables
I
on
said
the
they
bars.
must be
Yeah.
39 millimeter
Yeah.
or for
Inch and a
handlebars.
quarter. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, inch and a quarter stuff.
That's
So-
fantastic.
And then this is we do all our 3D printing in here. So when we're making parts like that new Stealth saddlebag support system, everything gets 3D
Oh,
printed and tested. That's how we work things out in the beginning before we take the files
Yeah.
to the laser. First we'll prove them here, and we can print. I mean, that's the Mini Monkey engine guard that we're redoing the feet of it so it fits a bunch of models. So first we 3D print the file, and
That's crazy.
yeah. So
Is that the printer right
yeah,
there?
that's it. Yeah, that thing's amazing. Yeah.
I know a lot of people are doing stuff with those.
That bamboo lab is spectacular. And this is our machine shop where the products actually, once they're modeled and proved and ready to prototype, this is where they get made. So we still have manual mills, manual lathes that we do for, making one-off parts or fixtures to hold things in our mills and such. This is our VF1. This is our smaller machine. We use this for small run parts. We use it for like one-off stuff. I don't know, when we just did that trike, I had to make a badge to cover some holes. So we made that on this machine, and that's how they get. Right now he's making fixtures. So these big plates are made to hold multiples of parts. So they go into the Takumi, so they go into the big machine. This guy,
That's Big Bertha right
this
there.
guy, right? Yeah, this machine runs at 26,000 RPM. Yeah, and it'll run 3 shifts. So it'll call me at home and let me know what's going on and show me pictures and stuff. And then at night, because we'll run it at night. So, but it has these tombstones. If you look in here, it has these tombstones, and those plates that he's making bolt on there. These big plates, they bolt on that one, and then while that one's machining, while it's running and making parts, it kicks this one out, and then we take the made parts off, reload it with tombstones. These are the new dog bone risers for the road clamps. That's a new super clamp for 25 later road glides.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the new dog bone. So we're starting the production. We made the first 50 or 100 on that machine, but now volume's picking up. So now I need to be able to make them faster and cheaper. So now I got to find my margin. So this machine could make 200 of those a day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if we needed it. So, and like the other super riser clamps, like our 1-inch ones and stuff, we do 10, 12,000 of those a year. So yeah. So it needs, this machine runs them all the time. So.
Every single set of monkey bars we use get a super riser.
Thank God the industry feels the same way. Like I said, the plates bolt on here, and I'll show you what it does. So once, let's say this was the base material. This is a piece of 6061 aircraft aluminum. Those 2 tombstones will hold 50 of these. These will go in, and then this head right here, if you want to come over, I'll show you. That head spins on 4 axes. So that head will come in, and it basically meets that tombstone, and it removes everything from this that isn't the part, right? So when it's done, there's a part sitting there, right? So, and then the tombstone will rotate. It'll do another pallet, rotate, do another pallet. Then it'll switch pallets out. The operator will unload those pallets with made parts on them, right? And unfortunately, he doesn't have anything. He's setting up for a new. So when they come off the machine, so this would be what's called a first operation. So the machine came in and it removed everything from that block, like I showed you. So this is the bottom side of it. Then this will go on another fixture, and the second operation will be the top side of it. And then it'll remove all this and make it pretty.
How many people have something like that?
Not many.
Well, I don't know about that. CNC machining, a lot of guys will outsource stuff because they don't want to deal with all this. Our volume is so high that, and this is somewhat new for us. This is only probably, I mean, we've been running small machines for a long time, but the big machine was really COVID when we got stuck and we couldn't get stuff from overseas. We couldn't even get our American suppliers to make stuff. Everybody's factories were shut down. That's when I bought this because it was really hurting my volume, and I needed to be able to make my own stuff. So after the machine is done with a part, so that raw block of aluminum turns into something like this. So this is a finished part, and this is a riser clamp, and these we make, I don't know, 10 and 12,000 a year of these, of something called a super clamp. It's a patented part that we have patents on, and the patent numbers are engraved in the part, and we sell them all over the world. People, when they use tall handlebars, it keeps the handlebars from moving, and it's a real.
When I say not many, what I mean is there's a lot of manufacturers out there that they get everything made overseas. They have to deal with quality control. They got relationships where they're making
logistics
phone calls.
is a big deal.
Yeah, shipping containers coming over with their stuff. But like with these parts right here in Phoenix, okay, Paul sees it when it comes off the machine, right? He knows if it's good. Knows it's what he wants. And to take something like this, the idea, right? To take something that's like this from an idea to come up with a finished part, I just think a lot of people don't really understand what it takes, between the concept and then some drawings, maybe on a cocktail napkin.
Sure.
But then, like you said, then it's the 3D printer, and then you make the very first one, and then they test it, and they test everything before it even hits the public. Before one of these gets to come to my shop, and I get to install it, it's got to get tested, and then it gets revisions and little changes and improvements. But little things like this, people don't realize it's not just cool and functional, but it's a safety thing too. This right here is the strongest handlebar clamp on the planet, and nothing drives me more crazy when people come in with their handlebars and you can grab them and move them around. You can just shift them back and forth. Imagine if you're making an emergency stop and your handlebars go flying forward.
No, you don't want that.
Yeah, this prevents that, So it's not just cool; it's a safety thing as well.
I think one of the unique things that, if you could find something unique about our machine shop, is that we also build and develop custom motorcycles. So we're constantly having new models come in. We're customizing them for customers. We're coming up with new ideas while we're customizing those bikes, and we're also able to prove our parts on those bikes. And we get a brand new, like Harley comes out with the Lowrider ST. We go get one, put it in the showroom, we look at it and go, all right, what do we hate? Right? We hate this, we hate that, and so we need new bars, we need turn singles, we need, whatever it is, and then we'll go to making it, and then we can provide for the customers that are buying those new models, we can provide cool little fixes for the things we don't like if they happen to agree with us, I guess, right? So, I don't know. So come on, I'll take you in the fab shop.
Monkey bars heading out to Deadwood Custom Cycles right here. This whole pallet's coming to Deadwood, South Dakota.
So this is our fabrication shop. What goes on in here is production, anything that's steel tubing, steel pipe, different assemblies that we make. This is where our production parts, certain ones we make, get welded in. Everything gets welded together in here. Like this is a fixture. We make a product called a stealth fairing support bar. It's very popular. And again,
cleans up the road glide fairing.
And again, patented. But we have a couple fixtures, and we'll go through. We always have. We make a lot of parts, and they sit out in the containers in back that are full of all the sub-assemblies. And then when we get orders or we need to refill our stock, then we'll just pull a couple hundred out and we'll spend a week, doing production on that. Or that's that plastic or that 3D printed engine guard. So this is the physical sample. After that got 3D printed and prototyped, then we'll make a physical sample and we'll test it again. And we make little changes. You'll see like there's little shims and stuff. We'll change angles, and there's a little spacer in there just to give it a little, we wanted it to fit differently. But in the middle of this development, we found out that if we made a couple tweaks, we could make one bar fit from 2008 to 2026. And we're going to assume later. So to have one product that can fit all of those models is spectacular. It's great for our inventory, right? And it's great for you that you can have one bar and say this fits everything, so.
And specific to these products, the engine guard, some people call it crash guard, but we mostly call it engine guard, highway bar. The thing about this is that 99% of the time, okay, all the aftermarket ones, they just don't fit because there's 3 mounting points and people just can't seem to, that manufacturer, they can't seem to get it right. And you have to sit there and pull and pull and pull and fight to get the bolt in. But these bars from Paul, every time, bolt right up, every single time. I've never not had one that just fell right into place.
That's good to hear.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like our proving grounds. Yeah. So, you know, and then Mikey, who's not in here right now, Mikey and Jamie are in here all the time working, and like this is that product you were asking about, the new Stealth saddlebag support system. These are now coming out of LaserJet, and that you can see how specific the measurements need to be.
Yeah,
so
look at that. That's cool.
And that's after production, we have to go in and make little tweaks and make sure, and then so what Mikey did is put a set together, tested them on a bike, and then he measures and documents any indiscrepancies or anything he would like to be a little different, and then we'll do another production run and kind of constantly tweak. So these are the fixtures we made. These are the welding fixtures we made for putting them together.
And they're all stainless.
And he's taking a whole load, another load of them off the lathe right now, so he can weld up a whole nother series of them. This product we introduced in Daytona, and it's like gangbusters. It's crazy.
I'm ready for a set for RST, for the Red Rocket. We're getting a set of these for the Red Rocket.
You'll dig them. And then
Mikey is a phenomenal welder too.
He really doesn't suck.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
So cool. This is, and that's how it comes to us. We were talking about those super riser clamps, the safety feature.
So this is our custom shop. This is Jack, who is the man here. Jack has been with me since the very beginning. Poor Jack. Anyway, usually this thing is, every lift is full of custom bikes, and they're doing all the final assembly, and this is not one of our bikes. This is another brand of bike that came to us that was in really bad shape and needed some
love.
Some TLC, yeah, so an old redneck bike. So yeah, and it was twisted would be the easiest.
Would be an understatement.
Yeah, that'd be an understatement. But all the custom bikes are up in Cave Creek on display in our booth and stuff. So and there's a lot of prototyping that goes on in here when the new models come in. The trikes have been up on these lifts for the past couple of weeks because we're fitting all these new. Harley came out with a new trike, and we're fitting all the wheels, and we had to make fenders. But let me show you the composite shop. So sorry about the smell, but that's fiberglass. Yeah. So this is our composite shop. We make a lot of composite products, and basically the crew back here in the factory pretty much fills this office every day, and then Suzie boxes the stuff up, and it all goes out the next day. So.
Made to order
Sharknado fairings and front fenders. It's sometimes we put on the website a lot MTO because it's hard to keep up with, like especially like trike fenders and kits, and we make so many of these trike fenders. And this is our new roll pan, and but I'll show you where it's all done if you can.
I saw one of those sitting over somewhere. I was like,
it was in my area. Yeah, that's so we had an old one we used to cut, and but now you don't. Now it's just a direct bolt on. You don't have to cut it. Just slips right.
It looks too small.
It's perfect.
I meant as far as width compared to the other one. No? Maybe
when you're back up at the Hideaway, look at the red Road Glide 3, and it's full. So this is these are everything we do here in the fiberglass shop. A lot of companies use what's called a chop gun, and they spray fiberglass fiber. We don't like chop guns. They leave a lot of voids. They're not a real high quality product. Everything we do is hand laid, hand formed, and 3D put together. So these are like a set of trike fender molds. This is what they look like. And then what Ponch has done here is he's gone ahead and he's taken from these forms that are up here on the wall. They cut all these different shapes on the cutting table, and then all these pieces get laid in here and reinforced, and then they put resin in it, and then they use rollers like these, a whole different series of rollers, and they roll all the mat in and roll all the voids out. So It's impossible to get. You can see what he's doing, how he's rolling everything together. So what he's doing is making sure everything is uniform. Everything has a consistent thickness. With chop guns, you'll get super thick spots and super thin spots, and it's just not good. So, but that's what when a mold is laying up, that's what it's doing. This is curing right now. Then they'll pop this fender out of this mold, and when they pop it out,
do you have to like put grease or something in there?
You wax it.
Oh, wax.
Wax.
Okay.
Yeah, you polish it.
Yeah.
Yep. So
these molds are so
these are
precise.
These are the new 20s. This is what Logan makes. This is what Logan does all day long.
So precise.
Yeah, he makes this stuff. So these are the new 26 molds, and trust me, to get them like this is painstaking. Yeah. So we're measuring and checking and measuring and checking, and then looking, and then you'll get one little dip, and then you got to get in and sand the mold and fix it. And this is what they look like when they come out. They look like this. It's a smooth gel coat product. That's the first thing that's put in the mold. But then they come out rough, and then we hand finish the edges and just clean them up. And yeah.
I was wondering. I figured you like had a paint booth where you sprayed them.
We do. Yeah. So this is finishing. So products. So what we do is we try to keep stacks of stuff out of the mold. We try to keep the molds full all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So when stuff comes out, even if I don't have an immediate demand, it's nice if you call and need a whale tail tour pack.
Which
I'm
I
like,
have.
oh yeah, I've got those made. I got those made. It'll just take me 2 days to finish it.
Yeah.
So then it's not a week-long process or whatever. So Robert's usually in here. He's probably on his break, but he's getting ready to finish some fenders. And there's all kinds of forms that we use. We have all these different forms that'll fit over the product for trace, to check quality, make sure everything's exactly uniform. If we're going to drill light holes, whatever we have to do.
Yeah, look at
that.
that.
We have fixtures.
I need a couple of those.
We try to have fixtures for everything. Yeah, we can show you how to make them. Yeah, I could have you spend a day in here, and you can make that stuff in your shop, no problem.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you could take just, gel coat, put it on there, and
This is
make yourself little molds. These are different trim patterns. So when the Sharknado fairing comes out of the mold, it's one shape. But then depending on its fitment, like this is M8 Fat Bob, so it shows us what we have
Where
to
to
modify,
trim it.
how we modify it before we finish it. So it, and then we even keep parts over here and constantly double checking and making sure everything is a good fit.
so much goes into it. But
It's
you've
a
seen
lot.
a couple of
Yeah.
these on bikes at Deadwood Custom Cycles.
Yeah, the
Very
Sharknado
innovative.
fairing is very popular. So that's that. And then behind this is just our warehouse. I don't know if you want to see our warehouse, but so we split this building. You can get an idea of how many.
Oh
trike
yeah,
fenders.
now I see it.
Yeah. And that's actually not a Harley trunk. This is a body we make for another company that makes independent billet suspension trikes.
No kidding.
We make their whole rear end kit. These are their fenders. Those are their trunk, and we make a door and a few other pieces for him. He buys them in kits.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we also make car bodies for hover rounds. That's funny. So this is just our warehouse. It's where all of our backstock sits, and as they bring stuff forward. And then there's some of those containers that were out back of the shop. Those are full of monkey bars. If the 18-wheeler was open, you'd be crazy to see that. It's completely packed to the rafters with monkey bars and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I really think that, a lot of people just don't really understand what it takes. They come in, they buy the part over the counter, or we put it on their bike. Like, they just don't understand the process, and that to me, the process is just infatuating of what it takes to go from idea to, hey, here's a part for, $79.95 or $99.95.
Yeah, people don't realize. Yeah. And that's it. That's my little world.
Well, you have a full day. I appreciate you taking the time.
No problem.
All right. Like and subscribe if you know what's good for you.